the essays and the distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome to this very important event. As you must have realized, we're here today to receive the report of the NBC, that's the National Broadcasting Commission, Reform Implementation Committee, which I inaugurated in this same room on the 10th of October this year. Gentlemen, you may wish to recall that the committee was given 6 weeks to submit its report. I'm glad and excited to see that they have worked very hard, they've met the deadline, and have come here today to present their report on schedule. I thank you very much. I want to therefore most sincerely thank the chairman and members of the committee for their sacrifice, diligence, and service to the nation. Professor Armstrong Idachaba, who chaired the committee, Sir Godfrey Owambua, J.K. Echeoya, Esquire, Hajia Binta Adamu Bello, Mr. Ibrahim Jima, Honorable Abu Kingsley Indubisi, and Mr. Jomuta. I thank you all. While inaugurating the committee, I gave the following terms of reference. 1, to implement the recommendations of the Committee on the MBC reforms as approved by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. 2, to immediately commence work on all statutory, legal, and regulatory framework for further legislative action on the review of the MBC Act by the National Assembly. 3, to immediately assess and propose equipment, materials, and training needed to make the MBC a modern and well-positioned regulator. 4, to liaise with relevant agencies to ensure the provision of the manpower needs of the Commission to enable it to function optimally. 5, to work out the modalities for a competitive and reasonable salaries, wages, and other welfare needs of the staff of the Commission. 6, to establish necessary protocols for the establishment or appointment of professionals or technocrats who are non-partisan to run the agency and appointment into the board of the Commission. 7, to immediately establish and publicize a new sanctioning fines and penalty regime that is in line with international best practices that promote professionalism and serve as a deterrent to erring practitioners against misconduct, especially hate speech, violence, and spread of fake news. 8, to establish and publish a new regulation for the licensing of web and internet broadcasters and international broadcasters in Nigeria. And finally, 9, to end all forms of monopoly detrimental to the actualization of the immense potential of the broadcast industry. Gentlemen, I've read the report and I'm quite delighted and satisfied with it. I can tell you that this report is going to revolutionize the MBC in several ways. It is apparent to me that for the Nigerian broadcast industry to play its critical role of providing information for national development, there's a need, and very urgent one, to come up with regulations that will address existing challenges. In the light of this development, I will be directing the MBC to take the following actions in line with the report of the Implementation Committee. 1, to immediately come out with fresh regulations that will promote the local broadcast industry and protect the Nigerian broadcast industry from monopolistic tendencies. These regulations are also in the area of advertising tariffs and protection of advertisements in Nigeria and production of advertisements in Nigeria. The regulations will also ensure that all anti-competitive behaviors are deterred and sanctioned where they occur. 2, I will also direct the NBC to immediately come up with regulations for the broadcast of content on the internet and the web. Of course, the regulations must not in any way gag the press or hinder their universal role of providing valuable information to the citizenry. The regulations shall, however, ensure that those who provide broadcast services on the internet do so with very deep responsibility. 3, you will note that some 27 years into the life of the MBC, there is the need to re-evaluate the applicability of some of its laws. Following the implementation framework presented to me today, I will immediately commence the process of forwarding an executive bill for consideration of the Federal Executive Council and further legislative action. The bill will address the existing lacuna in the areas of the regulation of the internet, the ongoing digital switchover, DSO, digital access fee, and the insulation of the regulator from partisan politics. Fourthly, you will know this is an important aspect of Mr. President's approval for the reform of the MBC is in the area of the welfare of staff. I will therefore be directing the MBC to commence work on an enhanced welfare package for the staffers of the Commission with a view to implementing such as soon as possible. 5, in this age of technology and the Internet of Things, a responsible and respectable broadcast industry regulator must be properly equipped. We shall therefore commence the process for the acquisition of modern broadcast equipment for the Commission for the purpose of monitoring and enforcement. Similarly, government shall commence the process of beefing up the material, training, and manpower needs of the Commission. 6, in line with Mr. President's directive, the Commission will be mandated to amend the code through new regulations to reflect the following. 1, upward review of fines from 500,000 to 5 million naira for breaches relating to hate speeches, inciting comments, and indecency, and willful repeat of infractions on 3 occasions after levying fine and paying the fine, or a station will attract immediate suspension of license. 2, upgrade of breach of political comments relating to hate speeches and divisive comments to Class A offense from Class B offense in the Broadcasting Code. Over the years, there has been no love lost between the regulator and the industry. Government believes that a trustworthy relationship is key to development of the industry. As a way of establishing that collaboration between the industry and the regulator, And to ensure transparency, the NBC Act will be amended to make provision for the appointment of a representative of the Broadcasters Union for both public and private broadcasters on the board of the Commission. And finally, we will be taking action to ensure that the approval of broadcast license aligns with the government's efforts in the ease of doing business.